Welcome to our Dream to Rise podcast, and we have a special guest who is a hypnotherapist, certified life coach, life coach, guided meditation, six frame reframe instructor, fiction and nonfiction author, a wife, mom, survivor, and warrior of peace. Wow, a lot. Her past experiences have only given her the tools needed to understand, to relate, to empathize, and become the voice of those who have none. And she is the warrior that wields the sword of peace, breaking the cycle of abuse and violence, coaching, helping, and inspiring women. And her skills in hypnotherapy have helped break addictions, build confidence, and take the lessons learned from the effects of emotional triggers from the past. Addressing the roadblocks of the mind with hypnotherapy, she combines it with the support of coaching, visualization of six-phase reframe, and guided meditation. And this can help in a smoother, more successful path for the future.
Yep.
And she feels a great sense of peace and accomplishment when she knows she has made even the slightest difference in someone's life. So let us all welcome Cheriess Maree. Welcome, Cheriess.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you here. And by the way, Cheriess is also one of the co-authors of our Dream to Rise anthology book. And I know her story will truly inspire and empower the listeners right now. Okay, let's go ahead, Cheriess. Welcome again. I will be asking you, of course, our purpose here is to share your story, your message to the world. So, if it's okay, if you could share your story with us, what brought you to where you are right now?
Well, without going over the whole article, really, I had a traumatic childhood, which I feel like a lot of the women I know and are meeting have a similar story. But we all choose how to react to that, whether we choose to be a victim or choose to be a warrior. And so I did choose victim for a little while, and eventually I did choose to be a warrior. And being able to use the tools and the experiences I went through to help other people definitely makes it all worthwhile. So I wouldn't want to erase my past or the trauma I've gone through, because it wouldn't make me who I am today. But I would like to be able to use those experiences to help others not have to go through so much of that trauma. Oh, you're muted.
So, will you be able to share with us some details on what really, what made you reach that rock bottom? And then what have you done to overcome those struggles, the challenges you've had? And then now you're here helping other people, being a hypnotherapist, a life coach, and so on.
I would say the moment I hit rock bottom was when my grandfather passed away, because he was my one person in the entire world who was there for me. And I was going through, an abusive relationship, an abusive husband, abusive parents. And I really didn't speak up for myself. I didn't have a support group. And the moment he passed, I just kind of realized there was no one else to save me. It had to be me. And that was the moment that I had to make a decision that was going to change the whole path of my life. So I made that decision. It wasn't an easy one. It was a very, very rocky road, scary. There was moments I didn't think I was going to actually live, but I kind of took all of that fear and the experience I went through as a survivor, and I turned it into honing my intuition to becoming better at protecting myself and better at realizing situations. And also better at realizing others around me in their situations. I'm 100% an empath. So being able to see the situation, look at others and see what they're going through, it really changed how I protected myself and kind of changed my path. Because once I could see everything around me and kind of like, it's almost like the Matrix. Once you see it all for what it is, it changes your entire, perspective of your life and others. So I really sort of changed my path the moment that my grandfather passed. And, my husband at the time was trying to beat me up. So I ran away, and I really did change the entire path of my life. It didn't change instantly. I had to do it incrementally, like small little changes, like don't do this again, don't put yourself in that situation, stand up for yourself, speak up. And so I think that being the voice for others is like the biggest thing for me, because I didn't have a voice. When I finally found my voice, it was like, oh, let's start singing.
Yeah.
So I really felt like that was the turning point for me. And
But
then the blockages, I think that I kept looking outside, wanting to be rescued, wanting someone to, be the knight in shining armor to, ride in and swoop me up and save me. But every time I would think that, I would put myself back in that same situation with another abusive person, whether it was a boyfriend or a boss or even a girlfriend, who just would take advantage of me, So I had to keep reminding myself that no, you can't rely on someone else. I mean, I still want to be able to trust and love people, but I really had to say, no, it has to be me first. I have to trust and love myself and protect myself so that I can change that path, break that cycle of what I had gone through and, my parents had gone through, what so many of my girlfriends have gone through. So once I could really change that inside, like change that inner voice, that really is what started changing my entire life. So, and now I'm super happy. I'm in an amazing relationship. I have an awesome husband who's very supportive, an amazing son. My life's doing good. I have really good goals. We're reaching them. I'm part of this book.
Yes, that's great. Cheriess, you mentioned about you made that decision to leave. And what did you do? What were the tools and strategies you did to overcome really and tell yourself, I have to protect myself. I have to learn to say no. Did someone help you in terms of help you really rise up and tell yourself that enough is enough, I have to take action? But it takes time, really, isn't it? It's not an overnight result that you will get. But how were you able to overcome those struggles? What were your tools, your strategies?
That's a good question. I didn't really have any one person in my life that helped me. I really didn't. The whole process of my, running away from my husband at the time, like he told everyone a bunch of lies. He didn't want anyone to help me. So I really had to rely on myself. And I would say that kind of believing in a higher power and believing that I was worthy of a different life. I think that was the key. Feeling worthy.
So how did that inspire you? Who inspired you in terms of looking at it in a higher spiritual level?
I think really it was me visualizing what my life could have been. As a child, even though I was going through not the life I wished anyone would have had, I would visualize and tell myself, like almost like a pretend life that I would have. And so I think that when I started going through the, running away from my husband and trying to survive, I think I started visualizing what I should have been, where I should have been, who I should have been. Like, how come I wasn't that person? How come I had, gone through all this? And I didn't blame anyone. I wasn't the kind of person who was like, oh, why is God punishing me? I didn't feel that way at all. A lot of times I felt like I wasn't worthy. But I really had to change that. So I had to look inside and say, you know, where does Cheriess, you know, need to be? Like, what is she worthy of? Where should she be? And so the moment I did that, I would just start visualizing like that pretend life I used to visualize as a child. Like, that's where I want to be. Like, I'm gonna be there. Like, so really, I didn't have any one person that stepped in. It really was about me and believing in myself, and definitely like asking a higher power for help, you know, however you believe. I really just said, look, I want to get here. So whatever path I need to take, like whatever steps I need to do, like guide me, like help me reach this goal, help me be here. And trusting in myself and my intuition was the key.
When you mentioned about visualizing yourself where you want to be, I that it reminded me of creating a dream by design. So you're creating a dream in a more expansive way, not by default, because usually by default, we are constricted by the past pains, our past experiences, our fears, limiting beliefs, and so on. So I'm glad that you have made that I mean, you focus on that, creating a dream by design, and that's could be the start. And one way of manifesting your dream is really visualizing it.
Yep, absolutely.
Visualizing, and that's the first part. Creating your purpose, creating your how do you see yourself, putting all your senses, five senses, yourself there. And then I still remember that I don't know, did you create a vision board where
absolutely. I've had 4 of them, and the very first time I did it, it was the woman who is now my Hanai mother. I love her so much, but I met her like 24 years ago, and I had been modeling for her in Hawaii, and she took all of her models and she said, look, I want every one of you to create a vision board. And she brought in all these magazines and some glue, and we sat around crafting, and I was like, how is this modeling, you know? But the funny thing was, I got so into it and I kept that vision board. I still have it. I have got everything on there. And I didn't even realize until years later, I dug it out and I was like, oh my gosh, like everything on there. I guess I need a new one. So I would get my girls together and we were
able to manifest everything.
Everything that was on there, everything. That's why I'm on my 4th vision board.
Wow. So you would say that vision board is very effective?
Yes. And you know, I started telling even my girlfriends about this, like when you tell the universe or whatever you believe in that this is what you deserve, and you decide that that's what's coming, like you really can achieve it. You know, I took this amazing course online through the Mind Valley University, and it was called the Silva Method. And they said, like, look, when you tell the universe or whatever higher power you believe in that you want something, you have to stick to it. He's like, it's like going to an Italian restaurant ordering spaghetti, and then before it shows up, you say, oh, actually that pizza went by, that smelled great, I'm going to change my order and have that. And then while the chef's in there making it, he was just about done with your spaghetti, but now you changed your order, so you gotta throw that out and start making you a pizza. Oh, you changed your mind again. And he's like, if you were just patient and you just believed that you're going to get exactly what you want and wait, it will come. And so I had to really tell myself, because I'm very like ADD. I change my mind all the time. I want this, but I really had to go focus, because what I really want is coming.
Yes.
And so the moment I kind of like made that decision, like all my friends tell me, like, you're a manifester, anything you want, you get. Like anything, even this house. I told my girlfriend who's a realtor, I said, well, I want a house between this street and this street, like my old place I rented and my business. And they were really close. So that was a very small neighborhood to choose. I said, right in the center. And so I opened up the Zillow app. I made a circle. I said, I want a house right in here somewhere. The next day I got an alert saying there was a house for sale. I called her up and said, I want the house. And she was like, well, you haven't seen it yet. And I was like, I don't care. I want that house. And I got that house. And as a single mom, It took me 9 months to get that loan, and I still got it. And now I'm in this amazing house. So, I
That's
mean,
manifestation.
everything I want, you have to believe you deserve it. But the moment you believe you deserve it, and you say, "That's what I'm gonna have," I'll be patient. That's the hardest part. But
Yeah.
if I can be patient and just really believe that I deserve this, this is what I'm gonna get, it'll happen.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of us, whenever we focus on something, a lot of distractions will be coming.
exactly.
That's why you change your mind. Okay, instead of spaghetti, I have this ice cream or whatever.
Right. It's okay that pizza walked by and
Or
smelled great. You're
pizza.
still getting your awesome pasta. You just wait. So yeah,
So
I love that analogy.
yeah, and despite all the distractions that may come your way towards your destination, it's it won't change your mind because you're already focused on what you want,
Yeah.
and that's your dream. And a, a lot of challenges will be coming in as well, and
Oh
it
yeah.
will test you on how to handle and manage your challenges. But how
Well,
do you see challenges? How do you view
I
them?
actually love challenges, because I was always told as a child, you can't do that, or you're a girl, those things don't work for you, or you weren't good enough, or you were old enough, you were not tall enough. I was constantly put down, but I really changed the way I was so determined after that to prove myself that a challenge comes up and I get excited because I'm like, I can't wait to overcome this challenge and learn from it and prove to myself that
Yes.
no, it's not a big deal. I love challenges. So, I mean,
So challenges are opportunities for you
they
to grow.
they are
Yes.
opportunities, and then they become, experiences you can fall back on and go, well, I did that. I accomplished that. So this one coming, that's going to be no problem.
Yeah,
No problem.
they're already peanuts, easy, no?
Right. It's so true. It's so true. Like,
Yeah.
there's not much that kind of like makes me go, oh wait, I don't know. There really isn't. Like, I'm that determined to like, okay, I was told I couldn't be a contractor because I'm a girl. So whatever. 1 month later, I took the test. Now I'm a general contractor. So I build
Wow.
homes.
Yeah.
I was told so many things I couldn't do, and I had to just do them. And now that's really created almost a bad habit in me, because if someone says I can't do something, I might just have to go do it.
Just wait and see.
Yes, exactly.
There was a time when I was still at the bank, not the World Bank. When you're new, they always give you the most difficult people to work with.
Oh yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
every time I would start working with a new department, they will give me the most difficult, the complicated person. So this my supervisor, when he retired, he really gave me a hard time, and but I've learned so much from him. So when he retired, Cynthia, I know, thank you so much, but I know I've given you really a hard time during my stay here. And then I hope you forgive. Oh, he even asked for forgiveness because he knew what was. And then I told him, you don't need to ask for forgiveness, because all what I have experienced from you, it made me. I've learned so many things,
Yeah.
and before I was very submissive. Now I've learned to be assertive,
Right.
assertive, not aggressive, meaning to
No.
say that you're putting yourself in his shoes. And I told him, you know what? After you, all are peanuts.
Yeah, exactly. You've leveled up. You've become stronger after all those
Yes.
challenges, and now you're like, everything else is small.
Yes. All the challenges that you may experience are very uh petty. It's very
Yep.
well, not that much
Insignificant.
insignificant. So
Exactly.
so do so what are you now focusing in your life in terms of manifestation?
Well, my husband and I have a 3-year plan.
Uh-huh.
So in a meditative manifestation visualization, I visualized that my husband and I were living in France, and we were
Okay.
in Cannes, and I had never been to Cannes before. I'd only been to Paris a couple of times, just a couple of days. So I had no idea about Cannes or, Nice or anything like that on the French Riviera. So my husband and I had a delayed honeymoon because we were so busy. So we finally decided to go. We went to Paris, and then we thought, oh, okay, we'll just get a tiny little ticket over to, the French Riviera and just check it out, and then we'll take a train through Italy and Switzerland and, the rest of our trip. So we got to Cannes, absolutely loved it. And our second day, Brandon and I said, you know what, let's cancel the rest of our trip and stay. So we stayed 6 weeks in Cannes and fell in love with it. And we both said, wow, this is why you had that vision that we are moving here. We're going to live here. And so when we're going to open a retreat, that's our plan. We have a 3-year plan. Once our son graduates from high school, we're moving to Cannes. And we want to open up a holistic mind and body retreat where we just help others have this exact same vision of having better path, like more confidence, believing themselves and listening to their intuition. If we can just help anyone who's interested have that same opportunity, then that's what we're going to do. So everything else in Hawaii is going to be gone, and we're moving to France.
Oh my!
Following my vision.
When is it? When are you planning?
2026. Yeah.
2026. So during our book launch, we will still be in Hawaii.
Oh yeah, I'll still be here in Hawaii. You're still coming to visit me.
Oh,
of course,
that's nice.
I can't be done with Hawaii forever because my son was born here, and all my friends are here. It's amazing. Hawaii is awesome, but I really felt at home in Cannes. We made friends with, coffee shop people and the restaurants. We were there 6 weeks. And Cannes a small kind of like little, bayside town. Everything, like the ocean's there, and it's all cobblestone. And we were just walking around like, this is where we belong.
Oh.
And we weren't, Paris is cool, but it's a big city and we're not really big city people. And the moment we arrived in Cannes, where it's like, there's beaches and there's the ocean, just like Hawaii, we're like, oh, okay, it's like the French version of Hawaii. So yeah, that's our plan.
So that's already your dream.
Already underway. Yep.
Underway.
Everyone here in Hawaii knows we're leaving and knows our plan. They're already making plans to visit us.
That's great. That's great. Oh my. I'm so excited for you and your husband. What's his name?
Oh, Brandon.
Brandon, yes.
Yep.
Brandon.
He is so
that would
supportive.
be 2026 or 25?
26. Yep.
So what are your goals now for the next 12 months?
To really continue my education. Like I said, I did the hypnotherapy classes, I did the life coach classes. I'm looking at doing sound healing, anything that I can take and further educate myself to keep helping others. That's what I want to do. So and now my husband wants to do it. So he was just saying, well, he wants to take the hypnotherapy class now too.
So that would be great. You're like partners now.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything that we do, like even with our construction company, it's just him and I. Every now and then we hire someone else to help us, if we have to like do a really big project, but usually it's just Brandon and I working. We work great together. We have fun, sometimes it's challenging because we're working really hard, but at the end of the day, we come home and we're
especially
happy.
Construction is very laborious. Oh my.
It is.
It's so much of your effort, your energy.
I know. I keep telling myself we have a 3-year plan. In 3 years, I'm done with construction. Construction.
Yes.
And I'm already trying to phase out the physical stuff and do more of like, my writing and hypnotherapy and coaching, just to kind of like already get that rolling enough that, it's already replacing the construction income. And if I can just keep going, it's so much more beneficial to help everyone else. Of course, I'd like to build someone a home. That's helping too.
So
but if
are
I
you
can
planning
make a difference, in their future, more than just a roof over their head, that's what I want.
So are you planning when you move to Cannes, will you be constructing your own house there, or will
Well, of course, we'll probably be remodeling something. I really want to get an old chateau because I want to have a retreat that's like big enough to house, at least 10 people. And
then it's a nice view with the ocean and so on.
Mhm,
It's very
mhm.
relaxing. Oh my, I love it. I
So
love
we'll
that.
probably sell our house in Hawaii to get something in France. We'll see.
Yes. Oh, that's good. So, uh, having your goal, your dream of continuing your studies and so on, and try to start phasing out your construction business,
Mhm.
what do you think would be your major roadblock in terms of achieving your dream or your goal?
Well, I'm not going to allow any roadblocks.
That's I love that.
There are challenges coming down the way. Our son is graduating. He just started school yesterday. He's in high school. So there's the whole aspect of him coming with us was the plan. But now he's considering going to college on the mainland. So, I support whatever he wants to do. He wants to be a physical therapist, which is
Mm,
also
that's
amazing.
and he could be a part of your
Good.
your
But
business.
I don't want to just try to absorb him into our goals. He has his own goals. So I
Yes.
want to support whatever he wants to do. So that's already sort of becoming like okay, I didn't really visualize him not being with us, So that's one challenge I'm dealing with as a mom. I'm like, oh God, what am I gonna do without him? But of course I have my little babies, but
Uh-huh.
and I think that probably leaving our friends is going to be another challenge because we have some like incredible people that have become like my family, and I think what's funny is every time I talk about France, a bunch of my girlfriends are like, "Well, I'm going with you." I'm like, "Okay, we'll get a house big enough for you all." But I think that's going to be a big challenge because we have some amazing supportive people here in town, and but I mean,
But
it is,
there's always a way to
yeah,
be
and we're gonna make
connected.
more friends. So
Yes,
I'm not
that's
about to like lose those friends. I'm gonna make them come visit me.
yeah. And you'll be adding more friends.
Absolutely,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
That would
And I
be
think the only other challenge is always like monetary, because it's like, okay, um, how are we gonna make this transition? We have to like go from Hawaii to a foreign country. But for one, it's actually cheaper in France than it is in Hawaii. So I'm
yes,
not
I
so
know
worried
Hawaii
about
is
it.
a very high cost of living.
It really is. We were surprised when we were there. We'd go to the grocery stores and be like, oh my God, it's so cheap. And it's all organic and gourmet. We're like, oh my God. We were hilarious just cruising grocery stores just to like window shop. But
Uh-huh.
I know. In the castle we stayed in had a kitchen, so we would go shopping and make our own food. It was so fun. It was so fun.
Uh-huh. Oh,
But yeah, so I think those are the only challenges I'm already sort of like maneuvering through. But
uh-huh.
I do not see any roadblocks because, like I said, I'm not going to allow them.
Yes. And even in terms of financial resources, um, there will always be a way to
Absolutely.
raise money. And then
I ordered my spaghetti in France. It's coming. It's coming. I don't care how it comes,
uh,
It's funny. I had this moment. It's been so many years ago. I think it was like maybe 6 years ago. I had this girlfriend who was gonna go to Thailand or Malaysia, whatever, to get a facelift. And she was like, I don't want to go by myself. I'm super scared. Like, can you come? And I was like, oh yeah, okay. I was like, well, when is it? And she's like, tomorrow.
huh?
I was like, tomorrow? She's like, well, I'll pay for your ticket. You only need about $1,200 to like, spend for the couple weeks that we're gonna be there. And I was like, okay. And I had just remodeled my day spa that I had. And so I really didn't have much savings left. I had just kind of made a big old purchase. I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? And I was like, well, give me till the end of the day. And so I said, wow, I need to come up with $1,200 by tomorrow. The phone rang.
Uh-huh.
And a client of mine said, hey, I need you to sign off on this permit. Would you do it for $1,200?
Oh my
I was like, yeah, see right there. Like,
It,
oh, thank you.
uh,
Thank you.
that trip was really meant for you.
Absolutely. And it was amazing. And the funny thing was, is she spent almost the whole time in the hospital, and I cruised by myself all over
Oh
Kuala
my.
Lumpur and all over Phuket. All over, I had a great time. You didn't even need me.
Oh my.
But I
See,
mean, that kind of thing happens all the time, especially if you kind of wield the power of manifestation and just believe, like, okay, this is what I need. It's gonna happen. This
yes.
is how it's gonna be, you know. It's the same with moving to France. Like, whatever needs to happen, it'll fall into place. You have to just trust it.
Yeah. Where your attention goes, energy flows. I always
Absolutely.
agree with that. Oh my, thank you so much. So how before we end, what a simple advice would you uh give to your to the listeners?
I would say trust your intuition
Mm-hmm.
and believe that you're worthy of whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's important because once you believe, then that manifestation will happen. If you
I
doubt it, then, you know, no one believes you really want it. You have to believe. You have to trust yourself. Yeah.
yes, lovely. Thank you so much. How will they be able to connect with you if they want to get in touch with you?
Oh, well, I have a website called Accelerated Excellence.
Uh-huh.
So, which is, you know, always my goal. I want to move along even faster to get to my goal. AcceleratedExcellence.com. So, yeah. And
And
then
then
I
Facebook.
put the link to our book on there. So once it's available, we'll have that on there. So of
Okay.
course,
And Facebook.
other things that have inspired me are on there as well. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm so glad that you were able to be be a part of this project, the Dream to Rise anthology book. You know what? I'm just so happy and amazed by the the members of this anthology book. Each one of you really has a gift to offer to the world. And just like what I mentioned a while ago during the panel discussion, use don't worry if you have a 25-watt bulb. La, you can turn that into a 200-watt bulb. Make sure
absolutely.
that you could just overcome all those distractions, all those blockages, all
Mm-hmm.
those fears, limiting beliefs. And as long as our purpose is really to spread light to others, then it will show up. When you give, the
Absolutely.
more you give, the more you receive, right?
That's 100% true. It's so
Yes.
true.
Okay, thank you so much, Cherise, for your time, and it's so wonderful to have a chat with you. Allah, so
Thanks for having
inspiring. Okay, thank you,
me.
and have a blessed day,
I
Cherise.
will.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.